This is Jason Applegate from Nerdlocker, and I am here with Terry Farrell from Star Trek. Terry, how are you doing?
I'm doing really great, Jason. How are you doing?
I'm doing well, having a good time. So, Star Trek has a long lineage of having female characters that have been kind of groundbreaking, have been role models to a lot of people. How do you feel that Dax factors into that whole tradition?
Wow.
I start with the hard ones right away.
Could it be that she's a science officer? Or maybe that she connects to Klingons? She can be violent. And yet she's still tender, emotionally available.
So what went into preparing for that role for you as an actress? Like, how did you go into that character and really get the depth that you wanted?
I think what's interesting is it doesn't come right away, because the truth was they didn't really know what they wanted from Dax to begin with.
Sure.
It was a new idea to have this host have all of these lifetimes, and although they had a trill on Next Gen, they didn't deal with the lifetimes.
Sure.
And being that I was 28 when I got it, and the worm was just put into Jadzia, what's really helpful was that I got to play Jadzia being uncomfortable and discovering what was happening with the worm inside of her. Well, the writers were too. So we got to discover Dax together. And I think that as I got more comfortable and they got more comfortable, I think just together it became a perfect union of the writing and my acting and all of it coming together for the character. I think there was a big difference for me when Ira Behr started really writing for me, and I can't remember, I think it was the end of the third season, but I'm not sure. I feel like I'm always wrestling with when did that happen? But he came up to me and told me that Dax was going to be more roguish from now on. And that's when I got really in touch with the Klingons. So it must have been before. What year did Michael Dorn come on? Do you know?
I am not the hugest fan, so I can't be episode 32
or
whatever.
That's totally, yeah.
Yeah. But
no, it was my job. It's not like I was all fanned out on my own job.
Right?
I know, but some people really are. Or they just hold on to it, and I don't. But that to me marked when I was ready for that coming out party.
Sure.
To be more roguish.
Yeah.
And I think that really spoke to what felt like an outbreak for the character.
Okay.
That's when I met my widowed wife, and they had the kiss together,
right.
Which, however that came together, wasn't judged upon the fact that they were the same sex, but that it was forbidden because of them having the other lifetimes together. It wasn't fair for Jadzia as the host to have to relive something for a different Dax character.
Sure.
And for me being married to a Klingon, interracial marriage. And so they make it like it's two different aliens, but we all know that it's really Terry Farrell and Michael Dorn.
Right, exactly.
So there are some really good messages to put out there that my character, because of my different lifetimes and all of the experience that I had, was a good character to have explore that and put it out there in a story. And I just got lucky to be at the right place at the right time, that I got to be there to help tell that story.
Now, if I remember right, when they started filming them, it was more episodic, like each episode sort of stood alone, and then it became more of a serial and continuity where they connected each to each other. Which did you feel like was more enjoyable or more accessible as an actress, like when they switched doing that?
Honestly, I was so busy trying to catch my own footing with all of the excitement, and the technobabble was really hard for me. So I lost a lot of sleep over that, which is not really helpful when you're trying to act. Is losing sleep, or any job really.
Well, sure.
You should not be working big equipment, right? Big machinery.
Right.
Yeah. I don't know that I should have been using my mouth very much. But yeah, so I think that I don't know, even when something stands on its own, there can be elements that still have a through line to carry you through.
Okay.
And I think that even when it was one-off, if you watch the show every week, there'd be a connection and growth between characters.
Sure.
But yeah, I think it's more exciting to watch a show when it has a driven line and,
Yeah.
and a story that continues and you need to watch next week, there's a cliffhanger, that's the show I want to watch. I don't want to watch a show that doesn't have the cliffhanger. I mean, unless it's comedy. I'm totally cool with comedy not having a cliffhanger.
Yeah,
But
that makes sense.
for all the shows that, like, I was watching Ron Moore and Ira Bear's Outlander, and thankfully I got to binge watch it. It would have killed me if I had to wait all week. And then I would have had to watch it again to remember, okay, what was exactly the cliffhanger about? Right?
Right.
Oh, my gosh.
Yeah.
But I love, that's why binge watching is so awesome now.
It is, and we can do a lot of it now.
Yeah.
It's pretty cool.
We're so lucky.
We are. One last question.
Yeah.
I teach theater, and so I have a lot of young actors. What advice would you give, particularly young female actors who want to go into the business, whether it's theater or film or television or what?
Do what you're comfortable with. You don't have to take your clothes off to do it. Anything that has any worth, you don't need to. If you want to take your clothes off, then take your clothes off, but don't beat yourself up about it. Otherwise, just keep sticking up for yourself, and if you see people treating you poorly because you're a woman or being sexist or taking advantage of you, then you have to stand up for yourself. And I understand what it's like not to, because you don't want to lose a job,
Right.
stuff like that. But so really evaluate whether it's somebody you can just avoid or whether somebody you have to say something about.
Sure.
Because you're really, if you don't say anything, you can be the person that's hurting the next actress coming up.
Well, and ultimately, you want to be proud of your work, and that's going to be a factor into it.
Right.
Yeah. And we can tell that you are proud of your work, and I want to thank you for the time
Thank
that you
you.
gave us.
Well, and most people are really great, so they wouldn't put you in that
True.
position. But there are quite a few, especially when you're naive or in the beginning. Right.
Fantastic.
So, yeah, but just keep going. Just keep going. Don't let anyone stop you.
Awesome. Well, thank you very much. I really appreciate
Thank
the time.
you.